Bongawa Mina shit. Anyways, we're going to perform a pre-trip inspection for a commercial vehicle, Class A, incab, and airbrakes. This pre-trip inspection video is provided by Aslan Trucking School. Performed by yours truly, Piscina de la Morta. Anyway, let's get down to business. Okay. Good evening, gentlemen, and all those ladies that may watch this video in the future. Drop a Facebook message or drop a comment with a number or something. Anyway, the first test that we're gonna perform is our cutout test. The purpose of this test is to see when our air governor will stop pumping air into the air tanks. Pretty much what we're looking for in here is when that needle is gonna stop rising or moving to the right. Our cutout test must happen between 120 and 130 psi, no less than 120, no more than 130 psi. But in order to perform this test, we're gonna bring our air pressure to 90 psi or lower. So we're gonna step on our service brake and bring down the air pressure. We're going to proceed to do a safe start. Make sure that our seatbelt is not cut, it's not frayed. That it latches. And that is properly mounted to the floor. To the instructor that will be testing your DMV, you will also have to ask to put his or her seatbelt on. So we're gonna have to ask the Batman mask. Will you please put on your seatbelt, sir? He may put it on, he may not. Anyways, you must ask them to put the seatbelt on. Let's continue regardless. We're gonna make sure that we're not in gear, that our parking and trailer brake bulbs are set, and we're going to turn on our engine. As I turn on my engine, my ABS light came on, then it went off. So that means that my ABS system is working properly. I'm going to accelerate my vehicle to fasten this process. So whenever the needle stops rising or moving to the right, that's when your cutout is going to happen. That's gonna be your cutout. So it appears that my needle stopped moving, that it stabilized 122 psi. So I mean this is a good test because it not happen no less than 120 and no more than 130 psi. I am now going to perform my cutting test. The purpose of this test is to see when the air governor will start pumping air into the air tanks. This should happen no less than 100 psi. And this test we're pretty much looking for is when that needle is going to start rising. We're going to step on the service brake once, let go, count 5 seconds, and look at the needle if it starts moving or going to the right or rising or not. If it does not start rising, then we'll repeat. So we're gonna find out our brakes once and wait 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you saw, our needle did not start to move, it did not start to rise. So we're going to fan down our brakes once more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you saw, our air needle started rising, it started moving at 101 psi. So that means this is a good cutting test because it not happening no less than 100 psi. We are now going to perform our applied pressure test of 460. The purpose of this test is to see that with our service brake applied, our vehicle does not lose no more than 4 psi within 60 seconds. In order to perform this test, our air tanks must be at maximum capacity. They are maximum capacity right now, 122 psi. In this test, just like we cannot lose no more than 4 psi within 60 seconds, we must say 4 readings. We just said the first one, that our air tanks had to be our maximum capacity of 122 psi. So that's our first reading. We're going to bring our vehicle into neutral. Into a low gear. To a low gear of 1. Turn off our engine and turn the key in the on position. We're going to release our parking and trailer brake bulbs and wait for our air needle to stabilize. Whenever it stabilizes, that's gonna become our second reading. Okay, my needle stop and stabilize at 100 psi. I'm going to step on the service brake and hold my service brake until my air needle stabilize. That's gonna be our third reading. Okay, my needle stop and stabilize at 86 psi and my minute starts now. This is our third reading. When the minute stop, it's gonna be my fourth reading, whatever air pressure that we'll have when that minute is over. Pretty much our third and fourth reading will always be the same because we're not gonna lose no air pressure. Okay, my minutes up and my needle remain at 86 psi. So I mean this is a good test because I did not lose no more than 4 psi within 60 seconds. I did not lose no pressure at all. You must ask the instructor if you can remove your full service brake or not. If you remove your full service brake without being granted permission, it will most likely be failed. So we're gonna ask the mask, can we remove our full service brake? Yes, you may. We are now going to perform our lower warning light or buzzer. The purpose of this test is to see when our lower warning light or buzzer will come on. This should happen between 55 and 75 psi. Pretty much on this test what we're doing is we're gonna get that needle as close as we can to the 75, and then we're gonna floor it. So we're gonna step on the service brake a few times. Okay, my lower warning light or buzzer came on 74 psi. So that means this is a good test, because it's not happening no more than 75 and no less than 55 psi. I am now going to perform my parking and trailer emergency bulb pop-out test. The purpose of this test is to see when my parking and trailer emergency bulbs will pop out and my spring brakes will come on. This should happen between 20 and 45 psi. In here or on this test, what pretty much are going to be doing is just fending down the service brake until the parking and trailer bulbs pop out. This one is the easiest, so we're just gonna step on the service brake. Okay, my parking and trailer emergency bulbs pop out at 22 psi. So that means this is a good test. So it not happen no less than 20 and no more than 45 psi. I am now going to perform my parking, trailer, and service brake torque test. The purpose of this test is to see that my parking, trailer, and service brake will hold my vehicle in a low gear. But in order to perform this test, I gotta have maximum capacity in my air tank. So we're going to proceed to do a safe start. Make sure my parking and trailer brake valves are set. Bring my vehicle into neutral. Turn on my engine. Because this is gonna take a little bit of time while we wait for our air tanks to fill to maximum capacity. We're gonna demonstrate the rest of our in-cab inspection. We're gonna start with our driver mirrors. I hope that we can see them alright, because it's kind of dark out there. My driver mirrors, they're properly mounted to the door on their brackets. They're not cracked or broken. They're clean. They're adjustable from the inside, and they're free of any obstructions. My window rolls up and down. It's clean. It's free of any obstructions. It's not cracked or broken. My rubber weather strip is in one piece. It's not cut, it's not frayed or dry rotted. My door opens and closes properly. It's properly mounted and secure on its door hinges. My seatbelt is not cut, it's not frayed. The latches and unlatches properly. It's properly mounted to the floor. My seat is properly mounted to the floor. It's adjustable from back, up and down. My stick shift, it has no signs of illegal welds. It goes in and out of gear. It's rubber boot. It has no cuts. It's not frayed, and it has no holes, so fumes won't come into the in-cab. My fire extinguisher My fire extinguisher, it's fully charged. It got its safety pin and its ABC type. I got my 3 reflector triangles, the proper color, red and amber, in good condition. My rear windshields. They're not cracked or broken. They're free of any obstructions or illegal stickers. The rubber weather strip is in one piece. It's not cut, not frayed. It's in good condition. I'm looking at my headlights. My low and high beams. Low, high, work properly. My left signal, my right signal, my 4-way flashes work properly. My steering wheel has no more than 2 inches or 10 degrees of free play. My pedals, my clutch pedal is rubber, does not stick to the floor, and it has no more than 1.5 inch of free play. My service brake is rubber, does not stick to the floor. My gas pedal is rubber, does not stick to the floor. My city horn works properly. It does actually work properly, but I can't really press it because it's late at night. I don't want to wake up my neighbors and have to call the cops on me, so we just pretend that beep. My heater works in the heat and defrost position. My parking and trailer brake emergency bolts, they're not cracked or broken, they're not leaking any air. I have a minimum of 6 spare fuses. My dashboard is properly mounted and secure, it's not loose, it's not missing any bolts. My windshield is properly pressed against the tractor frame. It's not cracked, it's not broken, it's rubber weather strip, it's in one piece, it's not cut, it's not frayed, it's free of any obstructions or illegal stickers. My windshield wipers work properly. They're properly pressed against the windshield. They're rubber blades, they're not cut, they're not frayed. My sun visors, they roll up and down, not missing any bolts, properly mounted, secure. I am now reading on my gauges. My oil temperature gauge is between 20 and 60, so it's working properly. My water temperature gauge is between 170 and 210, so it's working properly. My speedometer is under 10,000 RPM, so it's working properly. My voltmeter is between 12 and 14 volts, so it's working properly. It's reading 13.6. I can't tell you that my speedometer is working properly or not because we're not in gear, we're not moving. I will tell you that if it's working properly or not when I get to drive. That's what you will most likely tell the instructor. My fuel tank gauge, he has more than 1/4 of fuel in the tank, so he is working properly. My primary and secondary air gauges, they fill to maximum capacity, so they are working properly. Now that our primary and secondary air gauges can fill to maximum capacity, we are now going to perform our parking, trailer, and service brake torque test. So I'm going to bring my vehicle into a low gear or 1. I'm going to release my trailer brakes Make sure my parking brakes are applied. And I'm slowly gonna release my clutch till I feel a little tug. Okay, my vehicle did not move, so that means my parking brakes hold my vehicle and are working properly. I am now going to apply my trailer brakes and release my parking brakes. And I'm slowly gonna release my clutch till I feel a little tug. Okay, my vehicle did not move, so that means my trailer brakes hold my vehicle and are working properly. I am now going to step on my service brake and release my trailer brakes. And I'm slowly gonna release my clutch till I feel a little tug. Okay, my vehicle did not move, so that means my service brake holds my vehicle and is working properly. I am now going to apply my parking and trailer brake, bring my vehicle into neutral, release my service and my clutch, turn on my engine, and with this concludes my pre-trip inspection for a commercial vehicle, incab and air brakes. So that's pretty much it. If you pretty much do and say whatever I say in this video, you will most likely pass. If you don't, then you most likely did something wrong and just won't accept it, or you just not meant to be a truck driver. I'm sorry to just put it like that. Comment whatever the fuck you want. Anyways, regardless of all of that, so I can see myself that good. Oh god, for a minute. So drop a shout out for any future truck cute ladies over there. So if so, you know, like I say at first, drop a comment with a number or drop a message in Facebook. And this is it for our pre-trip inspection for Ashland Trucking School. That's a wrap.